Hello, online pipe community. I have got another of my new presenters series. This time, the channel that I'm with, well, his channel is his name. So tell us who you are, what you do,
I'm
where you live, what makes you tick.
I'm Ruddy Vercruyssen. Uh, yeah, I'm a relatively new presenter in the YTPC. Um, I live in historic New Bern, North Carolina, and been a carpenter for a long time. And last year, I decided to revamp my YouTube channel. I had started it 8 years ago, and I decided, all right, I just want to have some fun. I've been smoking a pipe for a while. I'm just going to do this. And that's what got me started in the YTPC. As a matter of fact, the 19th of May is the very first YTPC video I posted.
So almost a year.
Yes, sir.
Fantastic.
Um, Granted, I only have I think I just got 161 subscribers at the moment,
Hey,
which, hey, thank you very much to everybody. You know, um, I'm technologically challenged a little bit. And I'm actually comfortable talking one to one.
well,
Like,
that's all we're doing right now. So,
yep.
so we're good. Well, let's back up. Let's rewind just a little bit from your coming into making videos in the YTPC and tell me, how long have you been smoking a pipe and what got you into it?
Okay. Well, all right. Um, previous residents, um, this was well after the economy took a crap back in 2008, and I had struggled to make a living and all that, and I was trying to reinvent myself several times to try to make money, keep things going and all that. And I was living with my in-laws, and but I've been trying to get away from smoking cigarettes because I started having a lot of problems with breathing and sawdust and all that stuff. And I thought smoking cigarettes was a big part of it. My brother suggested, you ought to think about taking up smoking a pipe.
Hmm.
I did that. I visited a local brick and mortar, and I purchased separately on two separate occasions two basket pipes, both of which were Dr. Graybo's.
Hmm.
One was a bent billiard, one was a straight billiard, and he told me about ordering tobacco from Pipes and Cigars, and I started smoking Frog Morton.
Hmm.
Was Actually, it wasn't. Frog Morton was one of the last blends that I bought from, but I had bought CAO, a sampler pack, Eileen's Dream, uh, the truffle one, and I can't remember what color that tin was, Moon Trance, and the CAO sampler pack ended with Cherry Bomb, which bit my tongue so bad I will never smoke that stuff ever again. And then he discovered McClellan's Frog Morton,
Yeah.
and he talked me into ordering that, and I did, and I enjoyed that a lot. So then all of a sudden we're talking on the phone. Now this is transcontinental phone conversation because my brother was living in Fairbanks, Alaska at the time.
Oh,
And he talked me into getting Larry's blend because it was a less expensive alternative and you can get it in bulk,
mm.
like 8 ounces or 16 ounces at a time.
Yeah.
So I had been smoking that for a while. And in that time, my mother-in-law had passed away. And so we were living in an estate home because my brother-in-law and my wife are still, that home had to be sold. So we did all that. We moved into our current residence, and that was back in 2016 was when that happened. The tail end of 2016, beginning of 2017. So we moved in here, and then I continued smoking my pipe. At that time, I had also bought a pipe off of Amazon called C, it had a stamp on the stumble called CG,
Hmm.
and it was a Czechoslovakian made poker pipe. And it was a good smoking pipe. I really enjoyed it. I think I paid like $65 for it shipped. And I hadn't heard of any of the other um, pipe companies. I know um, Pipes and Cigars is very limited in what they carry. Some of it's actually on the more pricier side. I'm a little more budget minded kind of guy. Um, I have a tendency to break stuff or drop stuff. You know what I mean?
I do.
So stuff like this ain't gonna hurt my feelings if it hits the floor.
Well, while you're showing me that, why don't we do a little housekeeping? Tell me what you're smoking and what you've got in it.
Okay, my Morgan Bones poker. There it is right there. It's very unique. You
That
can barely see the stamp in the stumble right there.
that is really coming along in terms of color.
I think I've had it almost, maybe almost a year now.
Ah,
And I'm smoking Billy Bud Blonde. And I really like this blend because it's got cigar leaf. And I
mhm.
could thank Carolina Rose for that because, sorry about that. She did a video of her going on vacation in Hawaii to visit her family, and she met up with another YouTuber who is Smoke Break 808. Really nice guy. I've subscribed to his channel. He's predominantly a cigar smoker, but what he'll do is he'll take his cigar butts and he'll stuff it in a pipe and finish it.
Hmm.
And I started doing it, and I'm, you know, with running out of pipe tobacco, smoking cigars that Roses sent me. I'll stuff those cigars in my pipe and I'll smoke it quick, and I like it a lot.
Yeah.
So it's the Nick hit. I did a video about it called "Finishing Leftovers."
Okay. Yeah.
So, but since then, Hurricane Florence happened, and I lost all my pipes and my tobacco in
Mm,
that flood.
yeah.
And within the past year or so is actually when I'm just now coming around back around to smoking pipes again. So there was a long 5 or 6 year break
Yeah.
for me smoking a pipe because it just wasn't in the. I mean, you had COVID happened.
Hmm.
That put a damper on a lot of stuff. Everybody's struggling to make a living. I'm self-employed, so people are very wary about doing any remodeling projects with you in their house. And it was feast or famine.
Yeah.
So anyhow, and so here we are. Um, we got a new president again, and the real estate market's a little shaky. I'm figuring things out. Mama just had her surgery and she's recovering well. She's able to start participating in the household again. So, as far as that goes, we're both blessed.
Yeah.
And, being part of the YTPC helped me deal with all that. And I thank a lot of people.
Well, that's a good transition point. You started making videos almost a year ago. How did you find the YTPC and what got you convinced to start doing videos?
Well, all right. Um, this is the weird thing. I think you and I discussed this before on the phone the last time we talked. I started my channel and I was started doing it about centering around my pickup truck and doing a resto mod on it and all that. Of course, Florence happened. That was a big interruption, all that stuff. And I saw a lot of channels disappear. The YTPC is not the only content that I'm interested in.
All right.
And YouTube sent out emails and letters stating profusely, here's who we're going to back. We are not going to partner with you if you do this, and this. Period. You will not never have a chance. And of course, the tobacco is part of it.
Yeah.
You know, I get it. A lot of the things that I had so much interest in doing, you know, is like, and you just pretty much tied my hands of a lot of joy in my life, you know, because I love to hunt. I love to fish. I, you
Yeah.
know, love archery. All of those things were just like, nope, we're not doing this. And it's like, so what's the point? Because you got a million auto restoring channels, you got a million carpentry channels, you got a million of this, and the ones that make the big money, you know, are the ones that are doing. I'm not going to say it's stupid,
Well,
silly stuff. You know, I mean,
yeah.
I've seen some of these people. There's channels that my grandchildren watch, and my wife and I did the research, and they're making $380,000 an episode on their YouTube channel. It's like, are you kidding me? I'm
I
in the wrong business.
yeah. I have a nephew who's a multimillionaire with a channel that does nothing but make fun of people.
And it's like,
I,
I'm not, I know,
so,
I'm not into, you know, all right. I watch America's Funniest Home Videos once in a while with my wife. And one of the biggest things that makes me cringe is people falling.
yeah, because that's
I find nothing hilarious about somebody taking a spill at
no.
all. And I would never mock anybody for it. It just, ooh, that bothers me.
Yeah, especially, I mean, just a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, my mother-in-law took a really bad fall, hit her head on the um, the trailer hitch on our
Oh,
truck. Yeah, I mean,
that's the shin buster.
yeah, falls are not funny. Not that kind of fall. Um, you know,
No,
if the guy's doing a belly flop, okay, he did that to himself. That's different. Um,
right. Well, you know, it's like, okay, um, I framed houses for maybe 20, 25 years or more. I'm a 30-year carpenter. And um, I worked alongside of the same five guys for almost 20 years.
yeah,
Um, yeah, we're rough with each other. You get your feelings hurt, that's your own fault. In this crowd, we were all very thick-skinned individuals, and
yeah.
you know, you do something stupid around one of them, and yeah, you can good well bet that you're going to get ridiculed a little bit over it.
That's typically how we men treat each other.
Yep. But if you fall, mm-mm, you all right?
Yeah.
And hey, look, he just or you got shot with a nail in your
Mhm.
hands or take an injury. Not cool. We'll joke about it afterwards.
Hmm.
I had a friend of mine cut his thumb off right in front of me with a skill saw. And I actually picked that thing up and put it in one of those ice packs that you crack.
Yeah.
And I took him to the emergency room at the hospital, and there was a neurosurgeon that was just getting off of duty, and they rushed him right back into the emergency to sew his thumb back on.
Hmm.
He was out of work for like 7 weeks. And we joked about it afterwards. Oh yeah, I'm going to get my paid vacation, blah blah blah, this and that, because he, you know what I mean? Which in the framing industry, there is no such thing as a paid vacation.
Right. Well, especially not when you're self-employed. So,
No,
but the YTPC, how did you find us?
uh, I actually started off with um, watching Jason Dagner
Hmm. Yeah.
um, years and years ago when he was doing a lot of pipe content
Tobacco.
and tobacco content. I actually have one of his pipes.
Oh,
I have two, as a matter of fact.
very nice.
Um, those are actually the two pipes that I really dig. The other ones are a lot larger than I would care for.
Hmm.
His content has kind of changed.
Yeah.
I don't watch him anymore.
Yeah.
And I just started searching around, and I can't remember who all of a sudden I started watching. I really didn't subscribe to a whole bunch of channels at the time. I didn't even comment. But all of a sudden, one morning last year, all of a sudden, I get this alert. I woke up in the middle of the night. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm an intermittent sleeper. So I'll go to bed at 9 o'clock. I'm up at 11:30. I'll go back to sleep. I'm up at 12:30. I'll go back to sleep. Up at 1:30. You get the idea. Um, so I come into my computer room here, and all of a sudden my phone flashes. I was mentioned in a video. What? Just Piping did a promotion on my video.
Yeah.
I was like, get out of here. I was I was totally blown away. And next thing you know, I get an alert, and I don't know who was who first. Ghost Cop,
Yeah.
Find Five Friday.
Yeah.
And that's when I started suggested for you videos were coming up, and that's how I discovered Miss Rose. And I started subscribing to channels, and next thing you know, I was getting a shout out from Jonathan Piper X1X,
Hmm.
and I discovered you, and finding out that you're a fellow North Carolinian. Carolina Rose is a fellow North Carolinian.
Yeah.
Um, Greg Tunnel is a fellow North Carolinian, and I was like, all of a sudden, it was like I got excited, and I know I don't show excitement, but it's like we're all fellow North Carolinians, and we're all part of the same culture,
Yeah.
and I thought that was a big deal to me, and it still is. I still want to meet everybody that is, especially from my home state,
Well, we're going to work on that. We are.
because Rose and I, we converse quite a bit. I've spoke with you on the phone, and I text you once in a while.
Hmm.
I've spoke with Greg. I believe the painting Piper is also a fellow North Carolinian, because he sent Midway Piper a tobacco blend called Noose, and it's spelled like Noose River.
Yeah.
And I keyed in on that and commented on his video. I was like, the Mighty Noose, it's named after the Noosecan Indians, and gave him some history about it. But yes, sir. The YTPC in North Carolina, I'm all about it. And the world's a little bit smaller now.
Yeah. Okay, so you said your first couple of pipes were Dr. Grabo's, and you've got a couple of Dagners. Um, do you have a favorite pipe maker or a favorite shape?
I love poker pipes
Okay,
because
you and Corvette Jim.
it's a sitter.
Yeah.
Um, this is probably the prettiest pipe I own. I got it from Paul Gilson.
He does
It's a
he does nice work.
refurbished pipe. I didn't realize it was a petite billiard. It's not really a good clencher because it's weighty on the one end, but it is a really nice smoking pipe. To be honest with you, the bowl size is virtually the same, and
Hmm.
you see the length.
Yeah.
So this actually holds a whole flake of Peter Stockaby's 400 luxury navy flake
Oh,
without
nice.
wasting. Without wasting. Same thing with this Morgan Bones pipe right here. It holds the exact same amount on an entire flake. And this is these both of these pipes are good for almost a 50-minute smoke.
Yeah.
Um, I don't have my Missouri Meerschaum Mark Twain available. It's in my garage in one of my tool bags because I carry that pipe with me to work, and I'll smoke not so favorite tobaccos out of that while I'm working because I'm not there to smoke a pipe. I'm there to work. Take a couple of puffs, put it down, and walk away.
Yeah. Well, and
So
that thick walled Dublin shape of the Mark Twain is good for that because you can relight over and over again if you have to, and uh, it just absorbs the heat of those relights.
it does, and it's actually starting to take on color too because where the kernels are starting to turn black
Yeah.
on one side. It's kind of weird, and around where the stem comes out of the actual cob body itself.
Well, you mentioned you're smoking a cigar blend there. What types of blends do you favor, or are you all over the board?
I'm okay. I started off initially smoking English blends, and um, Mama doesn't like them.
No, my wife doesn't either. She says it
Um,
smells like I'm burning tires.
I love them, and then I started figuring out, um, getting turned on to Virginia blends. Okay, this has got a little more punch to it as far as nicotine level. So Virginia Perique blends sold.
Yeah,
Um, Cajun cake from Cornell and Deal. I love it. You could the red Virginias in it are very distinct,
yeah.
and you get the peppery retrohale notes from the Perique. I love it. It's a very hearty smoke. Um, this one, first time trying it this week. Sold. I will be getting this blend again. Um, first time trying this week.
I love
Sold.
that stuff. Yeah.
Um, I still have a few flakes left that my brother gave me of Peter Stockaby's 400 Navy flake, luxury Navy flake. That's not actually not going away from STG. So that's actually an everyday smoke
Hmm.
that we can smoke 4 or 5 times a day. And it's like, all right, for lack of a better term, it's like drinking a Budweiser. It tastes the same day in, day out, no matter what. Um, there's, I'm trying to get into other Cornell and Deal blends that have been piquing my interest. Um, hence the Briar Fox. I bought. I was running out of tobacco. Vicky had just had my wife just had surgery, I wasn't working, I was taking care of her, and I was able to find a Burley blend that was at Sir Walter Raleigh,
Mm-hmm.
uh, uh, 1.5 ounce pouch that I had bought. I would never recommend that blend to anybody, especially a first time smoker. You want them to not smoke pipe, put them on that.
That didn't do
And
it for you, huh?
no, it's the vinegar taste and smell.
Yeah.
I don't know what they did to that tobacco, but uh-uh.
Yeah. Well, they switched to vinegar as the preservative humectant, and yeah, I think it changed the flavor entirely. It didn't used to taste like that.
And I got my brother to try it, and he took like 3 or 4 puffs out of his bowl with it and stuck his poker in it and pulled every bit of it out right then. He said, I am not smoking this. And I don't blame him. So it's, but we both, because he lives less than 5 miles from me, um, he'll order a bunch of different tobaccos. I'll order a bunch of different tobaccos. And when we're together, I'll give him a couple of pinches of this, and and we swap. So we get to try out a lot of stuff. GOPs, Windjammer was one I got to try, which is really good, which is one of the first Burley blends we got to try. Um, uh, Blockade Runner, which is a Virginia blend that's got rum in it, which we both really like.
Yeah.
Black Frigate, which is somewhat of an English blend with Virginia, a lot of Virginia in it with the rum, and Black Cavendish. Um, we've tried Cornell and Deal's Redburn together. That one was a hit and miss. One day you smoke it and it's really good. Another day you smoke it and it's like, eh. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if
Um,
you can hear it, but I'm starting to get dumped on here, and it's starting to blow. So I'm gonna ask my parting question that I always ask everybody is if you have any parting words for the YouTube community.
um, Definitely check this man's channel out, Parsimonious Piper. I love sitting in with you and watching um, everything that you do. I think the YTPC is a great community, a very generous community. As a matter of fact, a quick note on that. I saw something on one of the groups that I'm on another platform talking about um, uh, people mooching, trying to get free tobacco and free stuff. No, you got it all wrong. If somebody sends you some tobacco, that's because they want to send you something. And it's happened to me twice. And I have yet to sell them. I mean, I'm grateful for the stuff that got sent to me. I had no idea that it was happening. And somebody questioned me about, um, hey, did you get something in the mail? I was like, no. Do you know something I don't? It's like all of a sudden my wife was coming to me. You got a package coming in the mail today. Did you order something? I'm like, no. So it happens. And I think it's a great thing. Ethan, thank you for your time. I don't want you to get soaking wet.
Well,
Um,
thanks for joining me. I do appreciate it. And folks, I'll tell you what I tell you every time. If you can keep it dry, light something you like, enjoy your
yes,
afternoon.
sir.